各位记者朋友，大家
Good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference. First, an announcement. At the invitation of State Councillor and Foreign Minister Jinping, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, Demek Makonnen Hassan, will pay an official visit to China from May 24 to 28. Now questions, please.
CCTV. According to reports on the May 22nd, the Indonesia-Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway started joint commission and testing, marking a major milestone in the development of the high-speed railway and laying a solid foundation for the full operation. What's your comment? The Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway is the first overseas high-speed railway project of whole system, whole elements, and whole industrial chain. It is a flagship project of Belt and Road cooperation between China and Indonesia, setting a fine example of China and regional countries upholding the principle of wide consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits. It will be the first high-speed railway in Indonesia and Southeast Asia. The project now has entered the final stage of construction. I believe that with the joint efforts of the two countries, the high-speed railway will be up and running as scheduled, thus bringing a better life for the local people and speed up the development in Indonesia and in the region.
下一个问题。
Next question, please.
Yonhap News Agency, it is reported that a ROK researcher NAVAC are not available in China. This is a researcher that is popular among the ROK people. What is the reason?
I'm not aware of the information that you mentioned. I would like to refer you to competent departments in China.
下一个问题。
Next question, please.
谢谢发言人，我是日本经济新闻的记者。
On the Prime Minister of Russia, Mishustin's visit to China, according to information last week, he will be visiting China from the 23rd to 24th. What is the schedule for his visit? And what is China's expectation?
是彼此最大的邻。
China and Russia are each other's largest neighbors and major emerging markets, and the cooperation between the two countries boasts strong resilience, ample potential, and wide space. We welcome Russian Prime Minister to visit China and hopes that the visit can be successful and inject new impetus for deepening cooperation and exchanges in various fields between the two countries. We will read out on the visit, and please check back. Next one, please.
Hi, question from Reuters.
路透社提问：美国能源部门表示，他将不会向锂电池公司提供2亿美元的资金。美国议员对该公司涉嫌与中国政府有联系表示担忧，外交部对此有何评论？
I want to say that making decisions on U.S. companies by U.S. government is U.S. own affair. China will not make comment on that, but we firmly oppose some in the U.S. who make issues about China.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
The paper According to information released by the Japanese embassy in China, when Vice Foreign Minister Sun Weidong summoned Japanese ambassador to China to lodge representations on May the 21st, Japan made refutations saying that China is hindering cultural and people-to-people exchange between the two countries. Do you have any comment? On May the 21st, Vice Foreign Minister Sun Weidong summoned the Japanese ambassador to China to lodge solemn representations on the G7 Hiroshima summit, hyping up China-related issues. We have released the result, which you may refer to. As for Japan's excuses you mentioned, China refuted them on the spot, noting that the US and Japan took the lead to identify China as the biggest strategic challenge, pointed fingers at China and interfered in China's internal affairs on various occasions, and made all attempts to counter and contain China. It is them who need to change course and mend their ways. On cultural and people-to-people exchange between China and Japan, I would like to stress that China supports friendly exchanges between the two countries in all areas. This has been our consistent position. What is important is that the two sides need to treat and interact with each other with sincerity and credibility and work together to foster an atmosphere that is conducive to improving and growing the bilateral relations. Japan needs to earnestly reflect on and correct its mistakes and work in the same direction with China rather than falsely blame China. Next question, please.
发言人好，塔斯社记者。今天俄罗斯两
TASS. Today, Prime Minister of Russia, Mishustin, attended the China-Russian Business Forum in Shanghai today. He said that closer relations between China and Russia will contribute to economic growth of the two countries. Some countries may not be satisfied with this and may even consider imposing sanctions because of the Russia-related factors. What's China's comment?
China always engage in normal economic and trade cooperation with other countries, including Russia, based on mutual equality. And China always opposes unilateral sanctions and long-arm jurisdiction with neither basis in international law nor a mandate of the UN Security Council. China-Russia cooperation does not target any third party and shall be free from disruption and coercion by any third party. China will take all necessary measures to resolutely safeguard the legitimate and lawful rights and interests of Chinese companies. Next one, please.
CCTV, the G7 Hiroshima leaders' communique issued on May 20th underlines that the highest standards of nuclear safety and security are important, and notes that the leader supports the IAEA's independent review to ensure that the discharge of treated water will be conducted consistent with IAEA safety standards. Do you have any comment? There is no precedent in the world for discharging nuclear contaminated water into the ocean. Without fully studying potential options and finding the safest one, Japan decided on the ocean discharge plan simply out of the consideration for saving cost, shifting the risk to other countries and the rest of humanity. Over the past 2 years, Japan has been pushing through the ocean discharge plan in disregard of the legitimate concern and opposition from various sides, and even attempted to rope other countries into supporting the discharge and downplay and cover up its hazards. The world needs to stand together against such an irresponsible beggar-thy-neighbor approach. The international community also needs to stay on alert against Japan's attempt to use the IAEA's evaluation and review process to obtain a pass for the discharge and create an illusion that the discharge is safe and harmless. The fact is, the IAEA task force was invited by the Japanese government and has strict limitation on its mandate. It only evaluates whether the discharge plan accords with the IAEA's safety standards. It does not have the mandate to evaluate other treatment plans for the nuclear contaminated water. Japan's discharge of the nuclear contaminated water will last as long as 30 years or even longer. Many experts have pointed out that the water had direct contact with the reactor's coarse melt during the Fukushima nuclear accident. It contains dozens of radionuclides many of which cannot be treated effectively with existing technologies. Some long-lived radionuclides may spread with ocean currents and form a bioconcentration effect, which will multiply the total amount of radionuclides in the environment, causing unpredictable hazards to the marine environment and human health. What Japan needs to do now is to face up to the legitimate concern of the international community, have thorough and meaningful consultation with stakeholders, including its neighbors, fully study and validate the best alternative to ocean discharge to ensure nuclear contaminated water is handled in a scientific, open, transparent and safe manner, and avoid to the utmost extent imposing unpredictable risks to the whole humanity. Next question, please.
NBC.
美国国家广播电视台。美国一家媒体报道称，中国新任驻美大使将于周二抵达美国。你能否提供更多的细节？这是不是表明两国关系将有所改善？
China put a lot of emphasis on China-US relations. I would like to advise you that you can follow the website of the Foreign Ministry to check relevant information about the new ambassador.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
A question from AFP.
法新社提问 ：TikTok 提出反对蒙大拿州禁止这一 app， 你对此有何评论？
We do not comment on the specific moves of companies. I want to stress that the U.S. has not proved that TikTok has threatened the national security of the U.S. and it has been wantonly surprising relevant countries based on the presumption of guilt. It is the bullying acts of overstretching the notion of national security and abusing national forces to crack down on companies of other countries. The acts of the U.S. violates the will of the people and damage the credibility of the U.S. It is not supported by the people. We urge the U.S. to earnestly respect the rules of the market economy and fair competition, stop cracking down on companies of other countries, and provide an open, fair, non-discriminatory environment for companies operating and investing in U.S. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。东方卫视。
According to reports, yesterday, DG of the Department of the Asian Affairs of the Foreign Ministry, Liu Jinsong, held diplomatic consultations in Seoul with Choi Yong-jung, DG of the Northeast Asian Affairs Bureau of the ROK Foreign Ministry, and met with the Deputy Foreign Minister Choi Yong-sung. Kim Tae-yu, First Deputy Director of the NSO, said that China admitted that it needs to talk with the ROK and Japan on pending issues. If the pending issues are actively discussed, there will be an atmosphere of discussing China ROK Japan leaders meeting. Currently, countries are sending people to talk about the resolvements of the issues. What is your comment? On May the 22nd, DG of the Department of Asian Affairs of the Foreign Ministry, Liu Jinsong, held diplomatic consultations in Seoul with Choi Yong-jung, DG of the Northeast Asian Affairs. He made clear China's solemn position of its core concerns and exchanged views with the ROK side on other issues. During the consultations, the Director General Liu Jinsong met with Deputy Minister for Political Affairs of the ROK Foreign Ministry and had conversations with ROK experts. I noted relevant reports and comments from the media. I need to stress that the ROK side should have an in-depth understanding of where the problems lie in China-ROK relations and take it seriously and earnestly.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
NBC again. Thank you. Do you have any up?
美国国家广播电视台对李辉特代访问欧洲有没有更多的信息可以提供？
France and Russia, for example.
我最新关注到的是他在波兰。
I noted the information about Li Hui's visit in Poland, and the website have released information, and I would like to advise that you can follow the information from the website of the Foreign Ministry. I have nothing to share at the moment.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
TASS 社
TASS, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, in a letter to Congress leadership, reiterated that if Congress failed to raise or suspend the debt ceiling by June the 1st, the U.S. Treasury will be unable to pay the government's bills. It is reported that China is the U.S.'s second largest creditor, was China's comment.
债务
The debt issue is the internal affair of the U.S. As the biggest economy in the world, the situation of the U.S. and its policy options have major spillover effects on the world economy. We hope that the U.S. can adopt responsible fiscal and monetary policy, do not shift its own risks to the world, and still less safeguarding its own selfish gains by hurting the world.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
Hi, another question from Reuters.
路透社提问：丹麦将召开关于乌克兰和平的会议，该会议将于7月举行。该会议将要求中国、印度和巴西的参与。那么中方对此有何评论？
这个会议
I'm not aware of the specific arrangement and plans of the conference on the Ukraine issue. China is always committed to promoting peace talks and the political settlement of the crisis. We would like to work with the international community to play a constructive role for the political settlement of the Ukraine crisis.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
.还有其他的问题吗？
Are there any more questions?
那好，今天的。
That's the end of today's briefing. Thank you.